My guest this week is Naveen Jindal. He's going to fly in his chopper to his constituency, Kurukshetra. We're going to talk to him about how he won the constituency and really how he fought and won the battle for all Indians to wave the flag on their homes and offices whenever they chose. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you very much. Let's go. Naveen Jindal runs Jindal Steel and Power, the rail, steel and power business, as Wikipedia puts it, of the business group started by his father O.P. Jindal. We have joined him in a whistle-stop tour of his parliamentary constituency Kurukshetra in Haryana. It's mid-morning. We are already an hour behind schedule, and the time is money entrepreneur in Naveen Jindal is getting impatient.
Their rules are that if one helicopter goes, the other one has to wait 10 minutes, which is absolutely ridiculous.
As an entrepreneur who's built a very successful business, taken over and then expanded a very successful business, and as a member of parliament, do you see this infrastructure problem in every sector?
No, there's no infrastructure problem. I think it's a problem of attitude. We have to learn. I mean, our human skills also have to improve accordingly with the changing times.
So you're saying our infrastructure is in place?
This is airspace. Infrastructure, there is no problem. But if we use the old, protocols, we want to keep 10 minutes gap between one helicopter and the other helicopter, then that's ridiculous. I have even written to DGCA, to the Civil Aviation Ministry, but they just they take very, very long in doing anything.
Forever we've heard in Delhi and Bombay, for instance, that things can't happen because we don't have the infrastructure. We're a poor country. You're actually arguing that that's not the problem.
No. See, it depends. Certain places, infrastructure is a bottleneck, maybe a bottleneck. But a lot of places, it's the bottleneck in people's minds. We have to improve our working, the way we work, our protocols. Say like the airport, I think the airports all over the world with similar amount of facilities handle 1.5 times, twice the amount of traffic. Now here in Delhi, if the one helicopter is gone in one direction, if the other helicopter wants to go in another direction, still they sometimes want a 10 minutes gap, which is absolutely, this is illogical. So there are things like that. So I think we just have to improve our working also. It is always easier to blame it on the infrastructure. I am not one of those who just want to blame it on the infrastructure. I feel we have to improve our own efficiency also.
Would you say in your mind that the mental attitude of not just in something like the helicopters or the civil aviation infrastructure, but across the board is the problem in education, in health, in roadways, all of that?
Definitely. It's Indians have the same attitude everywhere. It's all the same all across India. Like they say it's all the same all over US. It's the same all across India, across sectors. So we really have to improve everywhere. Even when we talk about education, all the time, how much money the government is spending, how much percentage of GDP we are spending. Do we talk about whether the teachers who are getting very hefty salaries, are they teaching properly? Is the accountability there? So I think what is should be a real concern is accountability, is improving the delivery mechanism, making sure people who are supposed to do their work, they do their work and they do their work really, really well.
Do you think there's an accountability problem even in politics that has to come in? How do we make our politics accountable?
I feel that our politicians are still much more accountable to the public, much more available to the public. I think the system needs to be improved, the bureaucracy needs to be improved, and people down the line who have to actually deliver, who actually have to implement the government's policies, their working needs to be improved. They need to be more accountable.
The earlier ages when poor villagers in the country saw this winged bird, as it were, coming down, they used to, it would, for the politicians of yesteryear, it would enable them to sort of push this idea of greater than thou sense of somebody else coming and ruling.
No, I just think as a modern means of transport, and to be able to cover the kind of distances we have to cover and to improve my efficiency, I want to use whatever technology is available use modern technology to be able to reach out to people. And this, say the helicopter or the aircraft, it really helps me cut down time drastically. What otherwise I would have covered in maybe 3 days, I can cover in 1 day in a helicopter. So I think we have to use the modern means of communication, transportation to reach out to the people.
When you look at the way this election is going, the use of technology, since you mentioned it, what are the 3 critical things that are changing?
I think in anything, anywhere that we are using technology, we have to be practical about it. We have to see the practicality of it. So obviously we cannot go for the overkill also, because if we go for the overkill, that would be counterproductive. I feel our world changes many times a day, you know. Right. Somewhere we are a son, somewhere we are a father, somewhere we are a husband, somewhere we are a brother.
That the family has a lot of goodwill in Haryana is a given. For Naveen Jindal, the challenge is balance between the 2 worlds that he leads, the wealthy man about town and the concerned people member of parliament.
I feel our world changes many times a day, you know. Somewhere we are a son, somewhere we are a father, somewhere we are a husband, somewhere we are a brother. So similarly over here also, I mean, when I come here, I mean, I just mingle with them, I just love meeting them, and I just become one of them. Right. So obviously it is a completely different world. Yes. Yeah, different world. As an industrialist, it's a completely different world. This is a completely different world. But I love.
How do you balance the 2?
I don't know. When I'm here, I'm just one of them. When I'm there, I'm one of that. But I think it does give me a lot more confidence when I come here, when I have seen the world, and when I go as an industrialist somewhere, I do know the ground realities also. I know what the real India is all about. So I think I can also work with that much more.
Does it give you an advantage?
I think so, definitely. The amount of confidence it gives me when I can meet thousands of people every day, it gives me a tremendous amount of confidence. I know how to deal with people, I know how to talk to people, whichever part of the country, wherever we are setting up plants.
This is a very interesting thing.
When people come to talk to me, wherever we are buying the land or land losers or whatever, I'm able to talk to them very comfortably. Even if I meet, even say eunuchs on the road, I mean, I'm able to talk to them very freely. You know, I can speak to any people.
This is a very interesting thing you're saying, because forever there has been this entire thing in Indian politics about the Baba log who always came once in 5 years and got the votes. But in some ways you're saying it actually works to your advantage because you're bridging the gap. I mean, land acquisition, which you just spoke about, which is going to be a bigger problem and as we go along the way for industrialists like yourself. When you face a land acquisition problem, do you think your experience in electoral politics will help you?
Definitely, because we are able to talk to the people, understand their concerns, take care of their concerns. Because those days are gone, you know, when you could forcefully do something. Now you have to do everything with a lot more consensus. You know, you have to talk to people, take their viewpoint, respect their viewpoint, and then if you work, then I think everyone welcomes you. And that's what you see in our projects also, wherever we are setting up projects, that everywhere we are getting a lot of cooperation from the people around.
This dual role means that in every speech he talks about his family, its work in the area and some ideas of growth.
मेरे प्रेरणा स्रोत स्वर्गीय ओम प्रकाश जिंदल जी, जिन्होंने हमेशा ये सिखाया कि लोगों के आशीर्वाद से परमात्मा ने हमें सब कुछ दिया, तो हमारा भी फर्ज बनता है आकर के दिखाएं कि जब कोई ईमानदारी से, सेवा के भाव से राजनीति में आता है तो क्या कर सकता है.
Every now and again there is that fickleness for keeping to the schedule. We are still running more than an hour behind time.
ऐसे 1 घंटा लेट हो गए.
Back in the car, Naveen Jindal explains the contributions of India's young Member of Parliaments. There's been a lot of criticism about the kind of work that the young, quote-unquote, young MP brigade has done in Parliament, including the number of questions asked, including the number of debates participated in. And if you actually look at those figures, they don't seem substantial at all. Is that a critique? How do you take that critique?
Well, I can speak about myself. I think you need to look up my record. My record on amount of questions that I have asked.
Sure.
I think amongst the top 10 members of parliament out of 545, I would ask amongst the top 10 in asking questions, in raising issues, in debating in the parliament. So I have participated. अच्छा धीरे धीरे कर लो वापस घुमा लो धीरे करके so I have participated very actively and you know it's not only all the work that as a member of parliament I have done is not only in the parliament, it's in the parliamentary committees also, it's in my parliamentary constituencies also, it's in the all over India that what I have been doing. So you know, one needs to check up the record of a member.
So you have been fairly efficient.
I've been very efficient, and in my committee, especially Parliament Standing Committee on Home Affairs, I've been able to contribute a lot. You know, we took up the cause of that Indian flag should be allowed to be worn on T-shirts, on jackets, on helmet, on caps. You know, so even Sachin Tendulkar, if you remember, he was asked to remove the national flag from his helmet. So I took it up in a home committee. There was a consensus, everyone agreed, and then government brought a amendment to the Prevention of Insults to National Honour Act, and then the whole thing was passed unanimously in both the houses.
I will come to your fight for the flag in just a bit. I want to ask you as a follow-up question to that. Your record has been very efficient. However, why is the trajectory of, if you take the entire young MPs as a bracket, why is the trajectory seen fairly low? Is it because the opportunities don't arise, or is there slot somewhere in the system?
Okay, I would say that firstly, most of the young MPs are in the Congress party. Majority are in the Congress party, and then Congress coalition was ruling at the center.
Right.
So when you are in the ruling party, you know the chance to speak are less. You know, because mostly the people who have objections, they raise more points, right?
Right.
So when we can go and directly speak to the minister, get the things done.
Right.
We don't have any grievance. I mean, you don't want to raise issues just for the sake of raising issues.
Who keeps the politician accountable?
People.